It's time to get revenge on my physics teacher. Yes, you heard that right. In this video, I'll be sharing my efficient study schedule for my physics test. If you're new here, my name is Stiletto and I share aesthetic study content. Please consider hitting the subscribe button so I can reach my goal of 100 subscribers for Christmas. Let's start. The first technique I use for revising for almost anything is blurting. I write a cute title in the middle and info dump as much as I can onto the page. After you've written down everything you can remember from the topic, you write everything you got wrong in red pen to aid memory. The picture on screen is of my blurted mind map. Next, after 20 minutes of work, I had a 10-minute break to make some coffee. Today, I went for a pumpkin spice mocha. Comment down below your favorite drink, as I'd love to share recommendations with you all. Next up is practice questions. Practice questions are the simplest form of active recall, and with the help of ChatGPT, it's never been easier to get practice questions and mark schemes for them. The method I prefer for active recall is using ChatGPT. Copy and paste the content of the exam you're studying for into ChatGPT. This can be in note format or basic quiz questions. Then give ChatGPT this prompt using this document, create GS or the exam you're studying for, or you can do the grade you're in style questions. Give me questions one at a time, I'll answer it. You mark it and then give me another question. Make the question slightly harder each time, as there will be some high mark questions on my exam. I'll put the prompt on screen as well. One thing I love about using ChatGPT for this method is that I can ask it to assess my questions, give me model perfect answers, and tell me what my weaker areas in that topic are. I can then use this to chunk study, which means I take the chunk of content I score less well on and solely work on that. Depending on how long it takes you to answer a suitable amount of questions, you might add a break in between active recall and chunking or not. I personally didn't, but I have an attention span of 1 to 2 hours, and I spent an hour on active recall and chunking. During your breaks, try to get some fresh air and eat a healthy snack. Something rich in carbs, protein, and antioxidants will give you natural energy and brain power. Next is the leitner system. This system is normally used for flashcards but can be applied to any active recall questions really. If using ChatGPT, ask it to generate 5 questions to do today based on your weakest topics, 5 questions to do tomorrow based on your partially okay topics, and 5 questions to do the day after based on your best topics. After that time frame is up, get ChatGPT to generate the same system of questions again. The idea of this system is to combat the curve of forgetting by refreshing your memory just before you forget. After another 10-minute break, I complete the final task on my revision schedule. One-page notes are an effective way to summarize information based on what is important in the exam. Most of the time, you'll know little areas of content to focus on before the exam. I believe this is called the Pareto theory, that 20% of the content is 80% of the exam, and 80% of the content is 20% of the exam. The 20% of content should be 80% of your notes. If I'm feeling lazy after I've used ChatGPT to generate questions, I'll ask it to convert that into an A4 notes sheet. Considering that it already has the content, I think this is simply the most time-efficient method. Then I'll write this by hand to promote memory. My layout for these notes was inspired by the Cornell study layout. I had a smaller column with some of the simpler information and a larger box for 80% of the exam content. Some people benefit by doing a summary paragraph at the bottom, but I feel like my topic tests are too complex for one paragraph. You could also add diagrams. But there weren't really any needed for this topic. I find the difference between my Year 8 and 9 notes is quite a lot. Year 8 was very extravagant, but half the time I didn't really like the outcome. Now I save extravagant for my art book and have cleaner, more minimalist titles. I have found a couple digital title fonts I personally love to use, so let me know if you'd like to see them. Here is some of my advice for creating one-page notes. Firstly, you want to condense the information as much as possible. Ask your teacher if any content you've covered won't appear on the exam. That stuff wastes your time and space. You want your page of notes to have everything that appears in the exam and nothing extra. You can use bullet points, keywords, and diagrams to reduce space used. Secondly, have a clear layout to your page. Clear headings and color coding may take up space, but it will help. Finally, making your notes aesthetic won't help you learn the info in itself, but enjoying the process of revision will encourage you to revise more consistently. You can use highlighters, cute titles, and a color scheme to make your notes nicer to look at. Here is an overview of my physics study schedule. Feel free to screenshot and adapt to suit you. Overall, this schedule takes just less than 2 hours, so you could easily do this once a week. Also, at the time of editing, I've already received my test score and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm doing the GCSE course, and on that grading system I got an 8, which is equivalent to a star. Hopefully this method works as well for you as it did for me. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow my WhatsApp channel in the description for more content.